It's an unusually rainy night tonight from Chandler, Arizona and Wild Horse Pass, but Phoenix Rising trying to get back on the winning track for the first time in 9 games. They welcome in the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. The 2022 Phoenix Rising season is presented by Equality Health with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Josh Eastern. Thanks so much for being with us. Looking at the Western Conference standings, and right now Colorado Springs 10 points off the top. San Antonio really starting to run away with things at the moment. But Phoenix Rising, they come in at the bottom. They have some work to do.
They have a lot of work to do, and it's very possible that they can get back up to that playoff position with a couple of wins, but they need to put 2, maybe 3 good wins together. They'll be looking at this match and saying, it ain't easy against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, but this is where the run needs to start.
One positive over these last few games for Phoenix Rising is they haven't given up a goal in 275 minutes.
Yeah, some good saves. Ben Lund has been absolutely fantastic. Defensively, they've been so tight and so well organized at the back. Problem, of course, they're not scoring goals, but they certainly are saving them.
Yeah, 3 straight 0-0 draws for Phoenix Rising, but our Pacific Office Automation player to watch, J.J. Williams. He'll make his first start for Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, already 9 goals and 2 assists in the season for FC Tulsa. Coach is saying he looks like Rufat Dadishov, a good header of the ball and great pace. What an addition he could be for Phoenix Rising.
And on the other side for Colorado Springs, there's no problems in terms of goal scoring. These 3 combined for 30.
And that is more than 15 teams in the USL. Just those 3 on their own. They are a scary front 3. I think the best front 3 in the USL. If they get service, if they're allowed to counter-attack, they could cause Phoenix Rising all sorts of problems.
Well, it is the first time Colorado Springs and Phoenix are clashing this year. It's 5 losses in the last 8 for Colorado Springs. It's 9 games winless for Phoenix Rising. What will give tonight? We got lineups. And first kick coming up next from a rainy Wild Horse Pass.
Should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
You might have heard of Carvana and that we sell cars online. What you probably didn't know is that we're in the business of making you happy. We believe buying a car should be something that gets you hyped up, that you should be empowered to shop when you want, where you want, wearing whatever you want, and that your new car ought to come with newfound happiness and 0 surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right, we'll put you in control, and all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Equality Health is giving doctors more time to be doctors, so they can give you the care you deserve. Ask if your doctor is part of the Equality Health Network today. Equality Health. Caring is back.
Goalkeeper number 39, Ben Lund. Defender number 6, Babukar Jai. Defender number 41, James Musa.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Carvana, NAU Nationwide, Equality Health, and Arizona Federal. Tonight's Love Local Night is presented by Arizona Financial Credit Union. Back with you here at Wild Horse Pass as the rain is teeming down. Time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups. We'll start with the home side, Phoenix Rising, and J.J. Williams right into the team and right onto the team sheet.
Yeah, number 99. Will it be lucky for him? 4 changes to the side that drew 0-0 at Oakland Roots. Kevin Lambert back from suspension. Sievert Howley drops to the bench. JJ Williams in, as you mentioned. Richard Antwi to the bench. Babako Jai, we think, will play up wide on the left. Greg Hurst to the bench. And Luis Sejas in. Doniciano got that red and he's suspended.
On the other side for Brendan Burke and Colorado Springs, much more of a first-choice side. They're getting some players back healthy.
Yeah, just the 2 changes. Jeff Caldwell comes into goals. Christian Herrera drops to the bench. And then new signing, Airo Enrique, gets his start in that attacking midfield position. Youngster Isaiah Foster drops to the bench. But, of course, all focus on the fabulous front 3 of Amo, Barry, and Galena. Wow, if you give them service, they will score goals. But if you deny them service, especially away from home, Colorado Springs Switchbacks have been known to struggle.
So we are all set for first kick tonight. Now it's a, dare I say, chilly 80 degrees in the desert. It's raining, it's wet, it's a little ugly out there. But these players ready to go. The fans that have braved the elements also ready for these 90 minutes upcoming. And a game which you'd think would have some goals in it. Our referee tonight is Kevin Broadley. There's the whistle, and away we go. It's Phoenix in red, Colorado Springs in white. Well, finally, Colorado Springs with more than a week off in between games. This is already their 7th match of the month of July. Remember, after they had that spell away from games in May, many of them were made up here in July, and that's why they have been playing, it seems like, every 3rd or 4th day. So many games, and last time out, that 3-3 draw against Charleston, as this ball comes in and skips straight out of play. But Brendan Burke said, overall, it was frustrating. We left them in the game. It's a game that we should win consistently. And he said they pretty much gave 4 good chances. They scored 3 of them, and unfortunately, it ended 3-3.
Yeah, I thought they'd actually won it. Michi Galena scored a golazo right at the end of the game in the 89th minute, and it was disallowed. And they went straight down the other side and scored their own golazo. AJ Patterson sticking it in the top corner from a free kick. Incredible. Both goals, one allowed, one disallowed, and that's what made the difference in the end. And also, we saw Enrique win a penalty and take it on debut. So it was a game full of drama. But as mentioned, we look at the XG, it suggests that they should have won at 3-1 Colorado Springs. And they were a touch unlucky on the night.
On the other side for Phoenix Rising, the midweek fixture against the Oakland Roots. Their 3rd straight 0-0 draw. They come into play tonight. 275-minute shutout streak. It's their longest since September of 2019. They also, though, haven't scored since July 9th. That was the first half against Memphis. That's been 323 minutes from the start of play tonight. So something's got to give, it seems, especially against an attack such as the Switchbacks.
You would think so. And just looking to that match and speaking to Rick Shantz about the Oakland game, and he said, you know, we defended so well. Aidan and Doniciano midfield did a great job defending, but our transitions weren't good. We couldn't get from defending on the front foot to attacking, and the few chances they had, Richie Antwi was unable to hit the target. So I can't believe I'm saying this, that Phoenix Rising are struggling in attack, but with 3 0-0 draws, I guess that's the only conclusion you can think of.
First attack of the game coming for Colorado Springs. Trying to turn the corner, low ball in, Haji Berry asking for a deflection, he'll get it, it's out for a corner kick.
One thing you want to do if you're Phoenix is get ahead, because when they have to chase the game, Colorado Springs, they do leave themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack. But if they get ahead with that front 3 that they've got, if they counter-attack you, they can absolutely destroy you with Michi's pace and Amo and Haji Barry. So getting the first goal, all important for either side tonight.
Lindley to provide the service towards the near post, headed clear as far as Tristan Hodge. Gila back out to that left side. It's good to see James Musa in the starting 11 tonight. He went off what looked like an apparent injury the other night. As Lambert comes forward, this cross all the way to the far side. It's Babukar Jai who's playing in a more advanced role tonight. Another cross and another corner. This will come though for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, interesting to see how Babukar Jai does out wide on the left. He's got the pace, he's got some trickery. His final ball into the box, not always the standard that Rick Shantz wants. And in 17 games, no goals and just 1 assist. But in that forward position, maybe he can have a greater impact.
And as always, it's Aidan Quinn standing over these corner kicks. Towards the near post, flicked header, and they'll do it again. I think J.J. Williams, a target on these set plays now. Much more of an aerial presence, as Rick Shantz said. Already the second corner here for Phoenix. Lofted in towards the back post area. And glancing out of play, throwing for Phoenix. And a player down here for Phoenix Rising. That's Kevin Lambert, who makes his return to the lineup after yellow card suspension kept him out Wednesday against Oakland.
And you were just mentioning J.J. Williams, and scoring on debut is so important for strikers. And we saw Jairo Enriquez scoring on debut for Colorado Springs, and we were just chatting about it, how good it was of Hadji Barry to pass the ball to Enriquez as Rick Shantz looks on. And of course, if you score on debut, then suddenly all the pressure's off and you're welcome and the press are talking nicely about you. I'm sure that's exactly what Rick Shantz wants for J.J. Williams tonight.
Calistri lofts it in. Williams looked like he was pulled down. Shouts for penalty, but play continues on. No whistle.
I'd like to see that again, to see exactly what happened. Referee's going to stop it, and in case there's a head injury, I guess that's the only reason you're allowed to stop the ball there. All the Phoenix Rising players are appealing. Let's see if there's something to appeal about. I don't think there's enough there, and I don't think there's enough to be lying on the ground afterwards either. Certainly there was a bit of an arm out, but that's to some extent allowed. Did he take a bit of an elbow in the face? I didn't see it. Having said that, it's always good to have the referee wondering and debating, so the next time you go down, maybe slightly more sympathetic.
Williams trying to shake that off. A wry smile on the face of Rick Shantz.
Again, just to make the point for everyone that from the referee's point of view, Kevin Broadley, you get one shot to look at this. You've got to make a call. Unless you're convinced it's a penalty, you can't give it. There's no going to VAR and looking at the technicalities of it. You either are convinced it's a pen or you don't give it, and I certainly didn't see enough from that to give a penalty.
Let's take a look at tonight's injury report brought to you by Spooner Physical Therapy. Niall Dunn is out. Arturo Rodriguez now on the bench tonight for Phoenix Rising, so looking to get him back for the first time since May 28th, which was their last win. So maybe Arturo Rodriguez into the lineup signals the end of this really tough run of form. 9 games winless, 0-5-4, just 7 out of a possible 36 points.
He's a bundle of energy, Arturo Rodriguez, and that's often what Phoenix Rising need. They work hard, they're just missing something, and maybe it's that extra energy that can make the difference. Mind you, Zach Zandy missing for Colorado Springs Switchbacks, a very good player, and he's vital to their midfield attack. So both sides missing key players.
It's poked away, but picked up by Elvis Amo. Now there's Darnell King. James Musa gets this away. Early ball across. Jeff Caldwell backing up. He makes the catch, who's back in goal. His first start since July 4th. That thriller against San Diego Loyal.
This used to be such a fortress for Phoenix Rising in years gone by. And they've struggled. Out of 11 games, only 5 wins at home, but none in the last 5 matches, more importantly. And this is so crucial for them to give them confidence to beat a team that's had a fantastic season so far in Colorado Springs. They get a win at home, and they'd only be 2 points off a playoff spot, of course, depending on other results. But going into this game, 2 points off a playoff spot, and suddenly you're within touching distance. So much riding on this match. It's not a do all or die, or be all or die, but whatever the saying is, you know what I mean. But it's getting close, isn't it? As the season starts to sort of wind up, you're getting less and less games in which to make up the deficit. So this one is very, very important for Rick Schantz and the rest of the team.
And as he said going into the game last week against Sacramento, the next game's the most important because it's the next game. Here's Williams on the turn. Feed that ahead for Jai, who's making the run upfield. The other thing Rick Schantz kept saying was, we're still right in this if we can put one run together because of how much the West is just beating up on each other. As Lute sends that airborne. Here's Aidan Quinn for Babu Karjai. And touched out of play. Fans, be sure to visit your local Arizona Financial Credit Union branch to get your Phoenix Rising debit card. It's a great way to support the team. Spread the word. I've got to say, it's the coolest looking debit card I've seen. Visit arizonafinancial.org/Phoenix Rising to find out how you can score $100 when you open an account. This is ushered out for a goal kick.
If you're Rick Schantz looking at this match ahead of time, given how awesome Colorado Springs Switchbacks have been for most of the season, you would have been most concerned. But recently, only 1 win in the last 5 for the Switchbacks, which given their front 3 is surprising, conceded 12 in 5 games. So possibly vulnerable, especially on the road. It's a perfect time for Phoenix Rising as he tries a long shot. Oh, that goes over the line.
Did that go past the line? What's the decision here? Caldwell was backpedaling and just pushed it away.
That looked like it crossed the line. Jeff Caldwell, it's an unbelievable shot. I think it's from Sejas. Have a look at it there. Yeah, that crosses the, well, from this angle, it looks like it crosses the line. Only the assistant ref can see down the line, but risky from Jeff Caldwell. The other option is to push it over the crossbar and play safe.
Hard to know for certain, but just from where an AR would be in that situation, they're with the last defender, so they're not on the line at that point. It's really close. It looked like it hit the line initially, but then when it bounces back up, does it go? It's tough to tell. Without
the goal line technology, it's probably impossible for anyone to tell. And then you get back to the same story. If the referee and the assistant refs are not sure, they can't give it. You can't assume. Have a look again. I mean, optically, there it looks like it crosses it, but even if part of the ball is on the line, it still hasn't crossed it. So without goal line technology, I'm afraid you have to give it as no goal.
And here come the Switchbacks. Galena for Cam Lindley. Deflected cross. Coming into the weekend, the 2 players with the most chances created playing in this game tonight. Aidan Quinn with 58, Cam Lindley with 55, 1 and 2 in the USL Championship. No doubt 2 of the best midfielders in the league.
We're looking at 3 of the best strikers in the league as well for that Colorado Springs side. As I said in the opening, the 3 of them up front have scored more than 15 USL teams. Their total goals don't even equal just those 3 up front. I mean, that's phenomenal. 15 teams. What a strike force.
And one of those being Phoenix Rising, 30-29.
Wow. And in years gone by, it was always the other way around, wasn't it? With Solo up front and Santimoa and Rufat Dadashov, they were the ones, those front 3, scoring as many goals as most teams in the USL.
Driven forward, looking for J.J. Williams. Heavy contact there with Quinn going down. And this will set up a free kick for Phoenix Rising.
Makangila just shaking his head. He's not convinced it's a free kick, but he does seem to follow through here unnecessarily on Quinn. Aidan Quinn, such a wonderful left foot. Gave the ball away a lot against Oakland Roots away from home, unlike him. And I guess everyone's entitled to a slightly off day. He put a lot of defensive work in that match, but here, this is where his real skills are, floating the ball into dangerous areas.
Said this is Santi Moar going for goal. It was dipping at the end. Caldwell kept it out. And the Switchbacks will have a throw-in. Pretty good effort from that distance.
Yeah, not bad, especially when we're all expecting Aidan Quinn to take it. But again, it's a long way out, and Jeff Caldwell's a very, very good keeper. Hard to beat him. Best you can hope for is it comes out to a striker, but Jeff Caldwell pushing it away from danger.
Phoenix knocking on the door, trying to find that opener here early on, and Colorado Springs, over the last 5 matches in the opening 21 minutes, have conceded 4 goals. So susceptible to early goals, and in their last 3 away games, they have not scored. They've been outscored 6-0. They've lost all 3 of them. That was after a 7-0-1 start on the road for the Switchbacks.
Santi Moar going down and saying that he's hurt. The Colorado Springs players suggesting that maybe he's faking it. Crunching tackle, I think a fair tackle. I think the ball is won. Santi Moar goes down. Not been a good season for him. 18 games, no goals, 1 assist. And the player who was top goal scorer last season for the Phoenix Rising. And scoring goals has been so easy for him in the last couple of seasons, but this season just hasn't worked for the Spaniard. One day it will. I wonder if it's going to be today.
Quick passing here. Enriquez moving it out wide. Amo is up ahead. He'll lead the charge. Elvis Amo leaves it for Enriquez. El Salvador international trying to fancy back heel. And that's off the mark. Babu Karjai trying to bring it away. It's a throw into Phoenix.
The rain seems to have settled down and the fans are out and playing the instruments, so it looks like it's going to be a lovely evening after all. With some grey skies earlier and the poor fans were getting absolutely soaking wet.
Is headed forward and into space. Darnell King. His cross blocked down. Second bite of the apple, and it's blocked out of play. There'll be a corner kick coming again for Phoenix, and there were red jerseys lining up there in the box.
And a few of them throwing their hands up in the air saying, you've got to find me in the box. You can't just be trying to shoot from a tight angle. Darnell King, his first attempt gets blocked. You can't blame him for that. But this one here has to go back in the box. Look at the arms out there. I think it was Santi Moar was one of them. Maybe Sejas the other, waiting for the ball in good positions.
Another Carvana corner kick. Served in, the header's down and saved. Jeff Caldwell pushes this out of play. Another corner kick upcoming.
That's a very good save from the goalkeeper with his left hand, comes up quickly. And it's Joey Farrell who gets a lot of power on that, but look how quickly Jeff Caldwell responds. Left hand up, tips it onto the crossbar and over.
There's a reason he was one of the more sought-after goalkeepers coming in after last year. Tied for 2nd in saves, tied for 3rd in clean sheets in the USL Championship last year with Hartford Athletic, and some pushing and shoving between Jai and Enriquez. A quick conversation with Kevin Broadley.
Difficult for referee to sort out what goes on in the box. Everyone's pushing, everyone's shoving, everyone's holding. You know, the problem is, as a defender, if you get caught, it could be a penalty, whereas an attacker, you just lose possession in your opponent's box. The downside is much bigger for the defenders, so they need to keep their hands off the attackers.
The in-swinger to the back post, Olympico! Quinn puts it in straight from the corner flag. What a way to end the goalless drought. It's 1-0 Phoenix.
Fantastic strike from Aidan Quinn. Absolutely brilliant the way he bends it. But Jeff Caldwell gets sucked in under the ball. He chases it. It goes over his head. He's not able to get his hands to the ball. The goalkeeper, have a look. The ball's whipped in. It starts to bend. It's got high. But where's Jeff Caldwell? He's turned around completely. He's facing the wrong way at the end. He's totally lost track of the ball. His defenders are leaving it to him to try and deal with it. And Jeff Caldwell can't. Aidan Quinn. Olympico it is, but Jeff Caldwell, he will take the blame surely for that one.
So the scoreless drought ends after 342 minutes. That's some quick math for you, Gary.
I'm impressed.
And Phoenix Rising finally have a lead at home. And for Aidan Quinn, it's his 5th goal on this season. What a strike that is. That is one to remember. He has scored some memorable ones this year. The ones at Loudon, the chip goal early on in the season, the Olympico, all on the list. What a run that is. And it's another goal conceded in those opening 21 minutes for Colorado Springs, a 5th in the last 6 games now.
We were just talking up Jeff Caldwell, what a good goalkeeper he is, but in these first 20 minutes, besides the goal, he nearly dropped one over the line as well.
Moar into the middle. It's dealt with in the end.
Just to say, he's come back in the team, Jeff Caldwell, and he hasn't had an impressive first 20 minutes, and we've seen him play so many good games, especially with Hartford last season. As you mentioned, that was why Brendan Burke went to go and get him. And earlier this season, he looked absolutely fantastic, but maybe he just needs a couple of games to get his eye back in. But both the Olympico goal he let in and the one he dropped on the line or behind the line, depending on which side you're talking about, very, very close and very risky.
And how about this? This is the first lead in a game for Phoenix Rising since June 18th, when they led 1-0 against Loudon United.
Wow.
So over a month has gone by since Phoenix Rising been playing from in front.
Yeah, it has been a really horrendous time for this wonderful team. No wins in 9, 5 losses and 4 draws. Is it going to change today? It certainly looks very positive at this stage.
There's Moar serving the cross in. Williams was up for it. It'll still fall into the middle. King trying to chase after it, and this cleared away. That's why when you ask every single coach, they always treat Phoenix Rising with so much respect, because they know the talent level of this team and the individuals that can change a game, like an Aidan Quinn did right there.
I just wonder if J.J. Williams had any part to play in that goal, because it looked like Jeff Caldwell might have been keeping an eye on J.J. Williams, trying to get in front of him, trying to get to the ball before him, and with that, not actually watching where the ball was going. I know that because I've done that myself in the past.
And, live and you learn.
Yeah, and you can get caught out that way, and maybe that's the confidence this team needs. A center forward that goalkeepers are worried about, that defenders fear, that you can trust to get in there and cause problems for the opposition.
Galena is taken away by Lambert. Of course, a bit of a different look in midfield tonight for Phoenix Rising, with Jose Donaciano missing due to the red card he picked up late in that game against the Oakland Roots. So it's 2 left-footers, I guess you could say, in the middle there with Quinn and with Sejas.
Donaciano coming up into a bit of a battle with Memo Diaz at the end there, and it looks like he threw a little bit of a punch, and Coach Rick Sean saying, well, you know, there was more going on from Memo Diaz as well, but maybe the referee didn't spot it. Either way, in the end, Donaciano getting sent off. And it's a pity, because he was playing so well for Phoenix Rising, such a talented midfielder. But fortunately, in Luis Sejas, they have someone who can also be a fantastic midfielder.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. Here's Galena going for the curler, and this straight out of play.
He scored against Charleston Battery from the same position in the 89th minute. In their last match, that was the Golasso I was talking about that was disallowed. What a strike that was. And then 2 minutes later, Charleston Battery get a free kick and they have a Golasso of their own. So poor Brendan Burke must have been jumping up and down, saluting Mishi Galena, and then a couple of minutes later he sees 2 points taken away by Charleston Battery.
Here's Lambert playing through the lines. Williams scores! Welcome to Phoenix Rising, J.J. Williams. He scores on his debut, and Phoenix lead 2-0.
Fantastic finish from J.J. Williams. He gets the support of all the fans. The manager was applauding him for the way he took it as well. They've been looking for a number 9 all season, someone to be able to turn the ball, take it, run at the opposition and stick it in the back of the net. That's exactly what J.J. Williams does. Kevin Lambert plays it in, he turns his defender, strikes it all in one move, tucks it right in the corner. Brilliant finish from J.J. Williams, and now, maybe now, Phoenix Rising can start to climb up the table.
Phoenix Rising FC goal scored by number 99, J.J. Williams.
Well, that is exactly what you signed up for if you're Rick Shantz in Phoenix Rising. It's his 10th goal of the season. After scoring 9 with FC Tulsa, he scores on his debut here, and Colorado Springs all of a sudden in some trouble on the road. In a wreck and need a check, go on the offensive with Lerner & Rowe, the official personal injury firm of Phoenix Rising. Make one call, that's all, to 977-1900. Getting you all the money you deserve is our goal.
Well, this is turning out to be a really bad run on the road for Colorado Springs. It's now 3 games, or 3 1/4 games, and they've conceded 8 goals. It's amazing. They looked so good early on in the season, and away from home they were more than capable, but in recent times it just hasn't been happening for this team. Obviously at home they're a whole different story, but maybe it's because away from home they can't get enough service to their front 3.
Barry wanted to take that quickly. The referee didn't allow it. They'll pull it back here.
Just to my point, when they're at home, they can get service to the front 3, and they are so good, and they run at you, and they're almost impossible to stop. But away from home, if you can contain them, if you can get at them and get them on the back foot, they can't get the ball to the front 3 much, and then they're nowhere near as dangerous a side.
Trying to get something going here. No doubt, as we mentioned, a team that can turn it on in an instant with the firepower they have. Here's Lindley. That pass off the mark. Handball, the appeal, and it is a free kick.
We were talking about 10 minutes ago how good it would be for J.J. Williams to score on debut and win the fans and the press over from the very beginning. Well, he's done it. He did it with his own skill, turned the center back, pushed the ball a couple of yards forward and smacked it into the bottom corner. No one can claim it was an easy goal to score, and certainly the other players will look at that and go, if you can do that, then we have found ourselves exactly what we need, something that unfortunately Marcus Epps just couldn't quite do, nor Claudio Repetto, or maybe J.J. Williams is the man.
It's Lindley and Tristan Hodge standing around this. Cam Lindley will play it square. Galena, Mishi Galena blocked down.
Ben Lund's now gone over 300 minutes without conceding, so that's the other good news for Phoenix Rising fans. Defensively still very tight, attacking wise, scoring goals. Happy days are looming large again at Wild Horse Pass for the time being. As you quite rightly say, though, what a talented side the Switchbacks team is, and if given the opportunities, they can hurt any side.
Here's Enriquez. Goal and an assist on his debut. Here's Haji Berry. That was pretty interesting what Brendan Burke told us. When Enriquez drew the penalty, Haji Berry normally takes the penalties, but Haji Berry said, "Nairo, why don't you have this?" And he steps up and buries it. As we were talking about before the game, that does wonders for a player's confidence coming into a club.
It certainly does. And I think they're very excited about Jairo because he won that penalty as well. He didn't just take it, he actually won it. So on debut, you have an assist, you win a penalty and you take it. That's not a bad debut.
Be looking for more of that from the El Salvador international. Scored a goal in World Cup qualifiers in about 15 seconds, straight off the opening kickoff.
Very impressive. What, 33 caps and 4 goals for El Salvador. I can only assume he's going to turn out to be a very good acquisition for Brendan Burke.
It's moved out wide. Options in the middle. Now going end line. That ball did go out of play. It'll be a goal kick. Quality Health reminds you that next time you or a loved one needs preventive or routine care, go to your doctor first. If you don't have a doctor, go to equalityhealth.com to find one near you. As we pass the half-hour mark here from Wild Horse Pass, what a start this has been from Phoenix Rising. Aidan Quinn, J.J. Williams getting on the score sheet. For Colorado Springs, Phoenix Rising has given them a ton of trouble since the rebrand to Phoenix Rising in 2017. Colorado Springs 0-5-1, a -10 goal difference, 15-5 in favor of Phoenix Rising. But before 2017, Colorado Springs was 4-0 with a 13-1 goal difference. So ever since they've started rising, they've started sinking. Here comes Jai. Cross comes in, flicked header is out of play. J.J. Williams again popping up in the middle. It's not the last time we're going to say his name tonight, it seems.
Well, he's big and he gets up in the air well. He's quick. He's got a great turn. He's got a great strike. I mean, he can't find a weakness in his game. And he's only 24 years of age as well, which is super impressive. Obviously, has a background with Columbus Crew and Atlanta United. So he's been a player that has been expected to do really well. Maybe hasn't quite lived up to it yet, but at 24, you've still got time on your side. But again, I like the comparison that Rick Shantz has with Rufat Dadishov and Jean as well. Both big target men who are good in the air, good with their feet. And this is the classic Phoenix Rising number 9, or so it would seem at this stage, J.J. Williams.
He did mention Claudio Repetto when we brought him up, but he said Repetto called him more of a slasher, not quite the same hold-up type striker as Williams, John, Dadishov are. And already an immediate impact.
Just wonder how his impact affects players like Santi Moa, who's been struggling to score. If someone next to you is scoring, you can feed off that.
To that point, Rick Shantz did say that, of course, J.J. Williams is going to command the respect of those center backs and maybe pull them away from players such as Moar, who's on the ball here. This is clipped in and bounces out of play.
And Jeff Caldwell being very careful there that the ball didn't go over his head a second time. He seemed to be floating in towards that far corner.
Well, even before the Olympico, it was the one that he touched onto the line. Still not sure 100% where that bounced.
Yeah, it hasn't been his finest game, Jeff Caldwell. I'm a fan of his. Again, last season at Hartford, absolutely brilliant. Early this season, stunning. Thought Brendan Burke signing him was a masterpiece. And that would make all the difference, because Brendan Burke's saying he's had issues with goalkeepers in the past and felt that he needed someone who could win him games, and Jeff Caldwell was that person, which is why I'm surprised to see him get caught on the Olympico that badly that you twist your body and you're facing the wrong way, which for a keeper is an absolute no-no. But maybe it's just taking Jeff a while just to settle back in, and I hope he does that very quickly.
Lambert, just enough height on that to find Jai. Williams waiting in the middle. Now it's Aidan Quinn. Rolls it infield. Sejas! Locked down Makangila. Very well done to track back. It's been a while since Sejas has scored a goal. He's looking to get back on the score sheet. There's no doubt about it.
Love the energy, the disappointment, the camaraderie, the desire to score. Yeah, and what a good run it was as well to that near post. Babacar Jai just putting it inside to Aidan Quinn. Nice movement of the ball. And you do feel that these players are desperate. You can see that in his body language. They are desperate to get on the winning trail.
Corner comes in, hit from distance with some power behind it, but not on target. Go back to Sejas for a minute. Last goal he scored, he has 5 this year. Last one was against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Remember that one? They lost 5-1. They scored the opener in that game and conceded 5 unanswered.
He scored 2 against Los Dos and a 3-1 win in April. So you can score goals. And that's what you want. You want goals coming from midfield. You want goals, as it always was with Phoenix Rising. But most important of all, they're needing a number 9. And again, JJ Williams, from what we've seen, and I know it's just 36 minutes in, he looks like the man.
Phoenix Rising Summer Days special offer includes a ticket with a cheeseburger meal voucher and an ice cream starting for only $22. Visit phxrisingfc.com/tickets for more details.
I second that.
Good pressure from Phoenix Rising. Unfortunately, Aidan Quinn giving away the foul, but they're putting that high line pressure on Switchbacks and trying to get some errors, some more errors from their defense. Again, just the positive body language about them, positive feeling about Phoenix Rising. That always comes with goals, comes with victories. What they mustn't do now is let Colorado Springs back into this match. And of course, the Switchbacks will have to do exactly the opposite. Find a way of getting the ball to their incredible front 3.
Here's Enriquez. Trying something ambitious, but this rolling out of play.
I think that's an understatement, ambitious, 40 yards out. And especially with that front 3, you know, when you get into that position, try and play them in, with especially Mishi's pace. It's lightning quick. If you're an attacking midfielder of the quality of Jairo, then just put a nice ball in and let Mishi run onto it. And there's very few defenders who'll be able to catch him.
Controlled in the middle by Lindley, trying to feather that pass through. Calistri sliding in to concede a throw-in. Enriquez chips it up over the top. Musa was there to defend.
Got to try and get into this game, Switchback. So far, their XG is 0.09. In other words, they basically hadn't had a decent chance on goal. The XG for Phoenix Rising, 0.78. So it suggests they should have scored 1. And they've scored 2, so they're above their XG, which is good. But for the Switchbacks, they haven't managed to create much in this first half at all.
It's a free kick upcoming here for Phoenix Rising. So they're ready for halftime to come for Phoenix Rising. probably want this first half to go on for quite a while. They've been enjoying some success.
Yeah, they just want to get back to winning ways, especially at home. That's where this wonderful support comes from, and no wins in the last 5 at home. You can see the desperation in the players, the desire to get themselves back on the winning trail. And the relief they're going to feel at the end of this match, should this result remain, is going to be massive.
Quinn, appeal for handball, not quite enough height on that though to cause any real danger. Lutz and wet field coming into play there. Jai just losing his footing. Galina tries to play that infield, and it's off the mark. Flicked ahead, Jai. The flag is up for offside. Well, there's some of that physicality. Williams trying to hold play up, or pardon me, they're going to bring this back for a foul, no offside.
Good play again, JJ Williams. Fights for the ball, wins the foul in a dangerous position. That's exactly what you want from your striker. Don't know if Kevin Lambert's asking for a card, saying it was bringing down someone who had a chance to score. There's certainly some heated discussion going on with referee Kevin Broadley. But look there, he's trying to get to the ball, and hard to see who's doing what to who. But in the end, free kick given. It just shows you the impact JJ Williams is having. And the more he can do that, the more the Phoenix Rising players will want to get the ball to him, because they know that he can impact the game.
It's Quinn who's standing over it again. Aidan Quinn. I guess I'll use the word ambitious again.
Yep. For a player who's got a wonderful left foot, a couple of free kicks he's had have not been good. That was certainly not good. Maybe he just needs to go back to what he normally does, which is whip it in a nice height into the box. I haven't seen enough of Aidan Quinn, and I'm going to say it because he's such a good player. But against Oakland Roots last week, his passing of the ball and his delivery wasn't as good as it has been, and hasn't been that good this match, even though he scored the Olympico.
Pre-game with Raising Cane's, proud supporter of Phoenix Rising. Skip the line and order on our easy mobile app for your order of premium fresh hand-breaded chicken fingers, special sauce. Don't forget to add our fresh hand-squeezed lemonade. Order.raisingcanes.com.
Well, I bet Rick Shantz is busy putting his locker room halftime talk together, and it's been a long time since he had positive things to say to his team. I guess the last 9 games he's always gone in at halftime thinking, well, how do I change things? How do I fix them? Well, now he can go in at halftime and just say, guys, just keep doing what you're doing. It's absolutely fantastic. It's Brendan Burke who's got the difficult halftime chat.
Here's Jai. To make it a little bit more difficult. Cuts it back. Sejas! Over the bar. He scored a couple of those worldies with that left foot this year. Not on that occasion.
He was just putting his hand up to JJ Williams. I think JJ was saying, well, you know, what are you doing? I'm in the box. Why are you trying a golazo from that angle? And it was a very, very difficult ball to hit from that angle and that distance out. When you got JJ Williams in the middle, he's saying, just give it to me. That's confidence for the striker.
Here's Haji Berry. He's pulled back. A yellow card issued to Joey Farrell.
A caution has been issued by a referee to Phoenix Rising FC number 15, Joey Farrell.
One of those yellow cards. Just wonder if he needed to do that, because now he's got to tread so carefully and worry about every future tackle. I know Barrier got away from him, but he was a long way from goal. So risky one for Joey Farrell.
It's 3 minutes of stoppage time added on at the end of this first half. He's lofted in. The header to come back centrally. It's cleared away. Bouncing out for a corner kick.
This is where they need to concentrate. Phoenix Rising, you're in a great position. The last thing you want to do is give a goal away just before halftime. Of course, if you're Colorado Springs Switchbacks, it's exactly the opposite. You want to get your big boys forward, maybe get a flick on it near post, and if you can go in at 2-1, the halftime talk becomes totally different.
Towards the near post, flick through. That was a fancy little flick there from Elvis Samo. Now it's Galina. Mishi Galina. Shot blocked down. Again, Haji Berry losing his footing. Appeal for handball. Now trying to catch Caldwell off his line.
Wow, that would have been some goal. That wasn't even from the halfway line. That was halfway in his own half.
When you get that reaction out of you, Gary.
Obviously, they feel Jeff Caldwell is vulnerable, and they want to try and put pressure on him.
For Phoenix Rising, of course, they want to go into halftime still with a 0 in the column of Colorado Springs, but they were able to end their goalless drought at 342 minutes. Last goal scored was Kevin Lambert's header at Memphis before this offensive outburst, I guess you have to say, in this first half from Aidan Quinn and from JJ Williams. The assist on the Williams goal going to Kevin Lambert. Be one more corner kick coming for Phoenix Rising in this first half.
The last time they were 2-0 ahead, going in at halftime, was against San Antonio 14 games ago. It's a long time they've had this feeling, since they've had this feeling, Phoenix Rising.
Quinn serves it in again. Put it in a good area. The header back into the mixer, looking for the flick from Farrell. And that's the last action of this first 45 minutes. Well, Phoenix can go into the locker room with their head held high. 2 first-half goals, including a debut goal from that man, JJ Williams. And how about that for a first 45 minutes?
Absolutely brilliant. What a debut to have. You couldn't want any more if you're Rick Shans from your new number 9. And the rest of the team have got to feel buzzed by having someone in the team that they can aim for, someone they know is physically strong. Of course, for Jeff Caldwell, he's got to put the errors behind him and get on and try and help his team back into the game second half. Long way still to go. Nothing's wrapped up for Phoenix Rising, not when you have those front three for Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
So we have hit halftime here. It's been a rainy first half, but Phoenix Rising have been pouring in the goals. 2 in the first 45, and they lead Colorado Springs at halftime. Phoenix 2, Switchbacks 0. Stay with us.
Rowe is proud to be the official personal injury attorneys of Phoenix Rising. Our goal is getting you all the money you deserve. When you're in a wreck and need a check, make one call, that's all, to Lerner and Rowe.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
You might have heard of Carvana and that we sell cars online. What you probably didn't know is that we're in the business of making you happy. We believe buying a car should be something that gets you hyped up, that you should be empowered to shop when you want, where you want, wearing whatever you want, and that your new car ought to come with newfound happiness and 0 surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right, we'll put you in control, and all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Hello, I am Jose Luis Cruz Rivera, President of Northern Arizona University. We are a proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. NAU and Phoenix Rising have much in common. We're both building on a strong foundation of success. We are both champions in our own fields, and we both strive for excellence. At NAU, we offer the advantages that come with a higher education to all of the members of our community. We are helping our students build a bright and boundless future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Come visit us at NAU and go Rising.
Cares about the community just like you do, and is going to hear your story and prioritize the things that you find valuable as well.
At Arizona Financial, we love our women-owned businesses. So I have worked with several women-owned businesses, but one in particular is an esthetician who was looking to expand. She was currently leasing the space, spending a ton of money to do that every month, and we were able to help her not only locate, but
halftime from Wild Horse Pass. Phoenix Rising 2, Colorado Springs 0. For this weekend's Rising recap, it's Joey Calistri hanging out with those at the Homeless ID Project.
This campus is quite unique. It is 15 or 16 agencies working together on a 13-acre campus, providing resources from which people can end their homelessness. And the campus, if you drive by, it looks like a place where people are being homeless, but it's actually a place where people can find the resources to end their homelessness, and that's quite unique. We've got, first of all, Homeless ID Project, which is near and dear to my heart, of course, but you need to get an ID before you can get anything else. And once they have the ID, they can apply for jobs, they can apply for housing, all those sorts of things. We've got a medical clinic, we've got a dental clinic, we've got organizations that help with mental health and addictive health. We've got a jobs program. We have 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. We have a shelter. Mike McQuaid, the guy who basically created and established this campus, worked with the U.S. Post Office and convinced them to open a post office right on the campus in the Brian Garcia Welcome Center. And that campus serves everybody who has a campus ID. They can get whatever mail, incoming and outgoing. And it's, as you saw from the video that you took in there, I mean, almost everybody that comes through here uses that. It's a hugely successful, hugely popular part of the campus.
Yeah, no, it was great. And, I want to thank Homeless ID Project for having us out. And it was great to see all the different resources that come together on this campus. Like you said, I believe it's 13 acres, and from getting IDs to having a mail room, dental, medical care, homeless court, there's so many different resources that you don't necessarily think of immediately when you think of people who are homeless. So I think just having all those resources and having them in the same location is eye-opening.
Sports franchises have fans, they have visibility, and that visibility, getting people to understand what goes on down here and the importance of what goes on down here is critically important. So sports teams play a major role, I think, in helping to pull together a community from a spirit perspective, and using that spirit to provide information, I think, is critically important.
Our club has a strong emphasis on building a sense of community. That's why our games are so inclusive, so fun to come to, and we know people are spending their hard-earned money to come watch us play soccer, but you know, these issues are things that we care about. So I think visiting homelessidproject.org and volunteering, donating, raising awareness, educating yourself are all very important aspects that you can do to help this issue become resolved.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Here at Wild Horse Pass, Phoenix Rising leads Colorado Springs by 2-0. News and notes from around the USL Championship and plenty of good talking points, specifically around Sacramento Republic after that penalty kick victory over Sporting Kansas City. They're in the final against Orlando.
Brilliant, great achievement. I tell you what, they had some difficult matches to play on the way there, but the last one going all the way against Sporting Kansas City to penalties, keeping their nerve, winning the penalties. Vitiello coming up with the crucial save. Wonderful, wonderful. I wish them all the luck. It's going to be tough. Orlando City away, going to be a difficult match, but great achievement. Sacramento Republic.
Already beaten 3 MLS teams. Who says they can't do it a 4th time? As we take a look around the USL Championship tonight with some Best Western out-of-town scores. The Rowdies scored 3 unanswered. How about that game in the bottom right, Orange County and San Diego, which I think I'm hearing now is 2-2, a quick response, so back and forth they go.
Wow, that's a tough one there for Orange County. They desperately need 3 points to start climbing away from the bottom of the table.
Chance for Orange County to move up. Los Dos holds San Antonio to just 1 point as well. And Monterey Bay scores 90+3 to take down Loudoun United. So we are building up to the second 45 minutes of action. Can Phoenix end the 9-game winless run? Stay with us and find out.
This is Sanderson Ford Country.
All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction. Check out America's best lineup, like the all-new award-winning electric Mustang Mach-E. Blaze new trails and a new Bronco, and drive America's best-selling trucks for 45 years. No hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and no added markups. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford for sales, service, and satisfaction.
Pacific Office Automation is the one source for all of your business technology. Copiers and printers, managed IT and cloud services, unified communications and telephones, security systems and cameras, complete conference room packages. You need to partner with a total office solutions provider that gets it. Pacific Office Automation, problem solved.
Hello, I am Jose Luis Cruz Rivera, President of Northern Arizona University. We are a proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. NAU and Phoenix Rising have much in common. We're both building on a strong foundation of success. We are both champions in our own fields, and we both strive for excellence. At NAU, we offer the advantages that come with a higher education to all of the members of our community. We are helping our students build a bright and boundless future for themselves, their families, and their communities. Come visit us at NAU and go Rising.
Please return it to the nearest ball retriever or security personnel. If sitting close to the field, please be aware that balls may be struck into the crowd at a high rate of speed. Please use caution. Please refrain from using any derogatory or inflammatory language. And finally, any spectator entering the field or interrupting play in any manner shall be ejected from the stadium and subject to arrest. Thank you for your cooperation. Fans, take a look at the board for tonight's special messages.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Carvana, NAU Nationwide, Equality Health, and Arizona Federal. First half highlights, Phoenix Rising, Colorado Springs. The chances got started early on, and they were pretty much one-way traffic. This was a nervy moment. We're not convinced this didn't cross the line.
Yeah, it could very well have crossed the line. Great strike from a long way out. Jeff Caldwell should have maybe pushed it over the crossbar, tries to keep it in play, and only a goal line technology ball would tell us whether that crossed or didn't.
And then from the set piece, another save from Jeff Caldwell. 18th minute, bevy of corners here from Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, body's fighting for this. Is a good save from Jeff Caldwell. Fantastic header down, and he just gets his left hand and tips that over the crossbar. This is the error, though. Goalkeeper totally loses the ball, and it's not a difficult one. It hasn't gone over his head, it's gone inside him, which is just such a rare error to make for a top-class keeper.
And then J.J. Williams, his welcome to Phoenix Rising moment.
Brilliant. Turns the centre back. Here's the ball from Kevin Lambert. Turns the centre back, 1-2 steps, bangs it into the far corner. That's what you want from a number 9. Yeah, he takes the pose. Why not?
Look at the first half stats. Much more like it for Phoenix Rising, but no shots on target for the Switchbacks.
Yeah, their XG as well, the expected goals is very low. They haven't created opportunities. They haven't got on the front foot at all. What we see from them at home is not what we see on the road, and they are struggling to deal with Phoenix Rising. And if they're not careful, this defeat could get even worse for the Switchbacks. They've got to get their front three into this game.
As we welcome you back here to Wild Horse Pass with Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern. J.J. Williams loving life so far through 45 minutes with Phoenix Rising. The Colorado Springs, they've only trailed at halftime this year 4 times. They've lost all 4 of those games. But Phoenix Rising, over their last 50 games when leading at halftime, 47-0-3.
Wow.
That goes all the way back to 2018 against Las Vegas. They lost 5-2. So things on the right track for Phoenix Rising, including Phoenix being unbeaten against Colorado Springs since 2017. So all the numbers in their favor, but can they close this one out?
Jeff Caldwell got a lot to do in the second half, but as a goalkeeper, you don't want to be trying to make up for errors. You simply have to treat everything on its merit and just try and have a good second half. And obviously try and help your team by keeping a clean sheet and see if they can get one and get back in the game. That's the aim for the Switchbacks.
There is the whistle, and away we go. 45 more minutes here from Wild Horse Pass. Seems like the rain has gone away. And already Phoenix looking into the attack as the cross comes in.
Sorry, my controller's acting right.
That's going to, as a free kick's given away, it's going to take a very special performance from the Switchbacks. Their last 3 away matches, they haven't scored in any of those 3 games, and they've conceded 6. Whereas at home, they've scored 9 goals in their last 3 games. It's amazing that at home they're a machine. They do still concede a lot. I mean, they've conceded 8 in those 3 games, but they've scored 9. So defensively, they just haven't been up to it, Colorado Springs, especially compared to the early season form. The problem is at home, they score a ton away, not one single goal in their last 3 away matches.
And remember, they were 7-0-1 to start their road slate this year before these last 3. It started with the loss against Hartford Athletic. And as things stand right now on the live table, with San Diego tied with Orange County at 2-2 late on in the second half. So it would be San Diego actually jumping over Colorado Springs into second place, 41 points versus 40. And even on games played. And this is after San Antonio was held by Los Dos tonight, a 1-1 draw in Texas. So the West continues to beat up on each other.
Yeah, it's very tight. It just needs a good run, but it's very difficult to get a good run when you're playing that many top-class teams around you.
Elvis Amo sending that towards goal. Straight out of play.
Just to go on about the goals conceded, currently Switchbacks 33 goals conceded, San Antonio 15 against 33, New Mexico 18 against 33, and Sacramento Republic 21 against 33. It's way too many for a side that wants to be a top team. They can score goals of that, there's no question, but they have to get tighter in defense. And that's going to be the big challenge for Brendan Burke as they head towards the playoffs.
Played into the corner. A push there from Lindley. As Sejas went down, it's a free kick to Phoenix Rising. Again, it's Aidan Quinn who sets his sights over this free kick.
Just thinking for Jeff Caldwell at this stage, you're thinking, I'm going to just stay on my line and make a save. I'm not going to start coming for crosses, and because it's a very similar position to the Olympico.
If I end up facing into the goal, things may not be looking good here. Here's Quinn going for it again, flicked along and in! Phoenix out of third! Aidan Quinn from the set piece. It's Joey Farrell to head it home. Phoenix in dreamland at home. It's 3-0.
Fantastic free kick from Aidan Quinn, whipped in with pace and bend, and Joey Farrell gets ahead of the rest of them and flicks it right over Jeff Caldwell, who must be hating the sight of Aidan Quinn. He got beat by an Olympico earlier in the game. Now it's this free kick, and very difficult for the goalkeeper because of the pace, because of the whip, and because of the bravery of Joey Farrell to get in front there and just get a touch on it. Not much the keeper can do, and now they are in dreamland, Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising FC goal scored by number 15.
Well, he doesn't score many, but that is his first goal of the season. He only scored 1 last year as well. And Joey Farrell gets himself on the score sheet at times late in games this year. He's come up as almost an extra striker, as just a big target up top This one, though, off a set piece, clever little run. Quinn picked him out, and it's 3-0 at home.
And I bet these Phoenix Rising fans are asking, where have you been the last 9 matches? Why have you been hiding? What's been missing? And to be honest, I think it's just J.J. Williams. You get a player of that quality comes along, the self-belief starts to rise. He makes a goal from next to nothing, J.J. Williams, on the edge of the box, and he battles and fights, and somehow there's a focal point for all your energy. And all the players around him start to respond. What a signing by Rick Schantz. It's what's been missing for most of this season, and maybe they have found the player that can take them into the playoffs.
For Phoenix Rising, they went 3 straight games, of course, without the goal. They had 7 scoreless games so far this season. They only had 3 in 2021 all season long, as Santi Moore won't get away with that. Free kick back to Colorado Springs. They finally get to that 3-goal threshold again for the first time since June 18th against Loudoun. It's the 5th time they have scored at least 3 goals this season. They scored 4 against Monterey Bay all the way back to open the season on March 12th.
The problem facing Brendan Burke is, if you had a stacked bench, you could look at the bench and say, well, I can bring off goal scorers, but Carlton Belmar, 17 games, not a single goal. Issa Ryan, 14 games, no goal. Steven Echeverria, 11 games, no goal. So Isaiah Foster, 13 games, 1 goal.
That's the only goal.
It's the only goal from anyone on the bench. So there isn't the firepower as we see that obvious free kick given away by Cam Lindley. The obvious situation is you're going to have to stick with those on the pitch. And he hasn't quite got the strength and depth that he would like, Brendan Burke. Obviously, he can bring on fresh legs eventually, but there's nobody that you would think you'd bring on early in the match because they can win you the game.
It was, in fact, a yellow card given to Cam Lindley. J.J. Williams is pulled down. And is Erdman not pleased about that decision? It's a free kick. It's not getting any easier for this Switchback side, just looking over their next 5 games, 3 of them being at home, but next time out against Orange County, then El Paso, Sacramento, Tampa Bay, and New Mexico. A really tough stretch upcoming, and then they face Phoenix again to start off the month of September. They will have a nice little stretch of games, 5 out of 6 at home. As the cross comes into the back post, the heads go up, including Kevin Lambert. Glances out of play.
Well, the one thing about the Switchback side is they almost certainly will get to the playoffs, given where they're sitting in the table at the moment. And once they get there, they can beat anybody on their day. As long as they're defensively tight, as long as they can not concede, you know that the front 3 can score goals at any moment. They are so incredibly good. So in the playoffs, they're a very, very dangerous side. And as I said, they're almost certain to reach the playoffs. So Colorado Springs Switchbacks fans, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Things could still turn out well by the end of the season. But it is a very troubling time, this bad run of games they're going through at the moment. And the goals they're conceding as well.
And you start to look at the form away from home, because it looked like they were going to be pegged in one of those top 2 spots. Now they might have to go win on the road. Still, obviously, a long way to go. As Jai puts it in, it was a pretty dangerous cross. There's nobody there to tap it in.
That's a good ball from Jai, and that's exactly what his manager Rick Schantz wants. Balls into the danger area. He's got the pace. By playing him up front, he's looking for him to get at the fullback and whip balls in, and he was able to do that right then, Babacar Jai.
Here's Galina. Trying to get something started. Cut back, Enriquez. Bouncing into the arms of Ben Lunt. I want to say that is the first shot on target tonight for Colorado Springs. Indeed it is.
And yet it was the one opportunity I thought Mishi Galina had to actually run at the defense. He had space with his pace. You would think that he'd want to get his head down and just run into that box and see what happens. Instead, he gives it to Haro, who takes a shot. But Galina's, one of his big strengths is his incredible pace.
Jai trying to lay it off for King. Galina stepped in. Ball does stay in play. Phoenix will take the possession. Sejas blocked down. Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand and proud to be the exclusive energy drink partner of Phoenix Rising. If you're ready to energize, visit cintronworld.com and join the vibe on social at Cintron World. Cheers. Here's Jai. Babukar Jai, kick save by Jeff Caldwell. As you said, just got to make the next save,
that's
right?
That's it. Much, much better. Direct. He's got that pace. He's got that drive. That's what the manager sees in him. And we haven't seen much of it, but here he goes. Puts his head down. Uses that pace. Gets into the box. Causes problems. Gets a shot in the end. A good save from Jeff Caldwell with his left foot.
Rolling into the middle. It was too far for Sejas, and it's turned over. Enriquez for Barry. Couldn't do much with it. Unfortunately, more bad news for Colorado Springs Switchbacks fans as San Diego has taken the lead at Orange County 3-2 into the 90th minute. Evan Conway scoring. It's 2 unanswered from Loyal to take the lead.
That's an incredible scoreline because it puts the champions bottom of the West after Monterrey's win.
Galina's cross held on to by Lunt.
By the way, we haven't seen much of Ben Lunt, but let's bear in mind it's now 3.5 matches he's kept a clean sheet, and through all the difficult spells of not scoring, he has made save after save for Phoenix Rising. And while all the glory is going to go to the guys up front, in particular JJ Williams, I think they need to thank their goalkeeper for keeping them in the previous 3 games, because he really has been crucial. He's built the foundation for this side to be doing well today.
That's what you always say with teams going through tough spots. Shore up the defense, because you're not going to lose if you don't concede, right? And then try to work up from there.
100%, but he's made some really important saves in that time. And they've needed Ben Lunt. And the keeper's had a quiet day today, and he deserves it given the saves he's had to make the last few games. In fact, the 0-0 draw at Lou City, he was in great form time and time again, making a couple of saves. One from Manny Perez in the 88th minute to keep that clean sheet and get them a point away at Lou City at Lynn Family Stadium, which is a really good point to get.
He made 6 saves in that game against Lou City. Summer showcase in the USL. Crunching challenge there by Quinn. Thought he got it clean. Referee didn't think so. I've seen a number of players lose their footing on this field. Remember, it did rain quite a bit earlier. It hasn't rained in probably about an hour or so. There's Darnell King. Jai had to Stay still as he would have been offside. Quinn drives it in. Moar one touch. Moar saved. And then the follow-up by King. Just a reaction off his chest is out of play.
Santi Moa cannot buy a goal at the moment. Aidan Quinn knocking this ball across. Great first touch. Good strike. Goalkeeper makes a solid save. Makes a very good save, in fact, when you see it from that side with his right hand. And Santi Moa now into his 19th game this season without a goal. For someone who was scoring in the double figures the last couple of seasons, that's an incredible turnaround. In fact, there was a phrase used by Rick Chance to say the soccer gods are not with us. Yeah. Well, I think for Santi Moa in particular, he must be asking those soccer gods, please give me a bit of help.
Headers down, cleared, but off of Jai. Another thing Rick Chance said that I kind of had a laugh at was when you're not scoring goals, all you're thinking about is scoring goals, right? Here's Galina, rolled in and put out for a corner.
Oh, this is more positive from the visitors. We haven't seen them really cause Ben Lund any problems in this match, and maybe now they're getting on the front foot a little bit more and causing some problems, and they will do with those front three. If they can get service into those front three, then Ben Lund might find himself a busy man between now and the end of this game.
Substitutions coming, pretty much a line change. Steven Echeverria, Isaiah Foster, Aaron Wheeler all coming off. Tristan Hodge will be one to come off. Haji Berry another. So wholesale changes here for Colorado Springs. Looks like there's Wheeler coming on.
Is number 13, Steven Echeverria.
Echeverria is the last one to come on, and Elvis Amo is the one to come off.
I think at this stage, Brendan Burke is just trying anything he can. I mean, he's bringing off his top two strikers there. In the end, he just feels that he needs just to bring fresh blood on.
Galina puts it in a dangerous area at the penalty spot on the turn. Still bouncing through. Wheeler just onto the field. On the turn, blocked again. Erdman for Lindley. Lindley will have a hit. Falls for Foster. And finally, Phoenix can get this out clear. Moar brings it down. It was a heavy first touch. A high degree of difficulty.
It really is the last throw of the dice for Brendan Burke. Taking off your top goal scorers, but you just hope that Aaron Wheeler and Isaiah Foster and Steven Echeverria, they just bring some little extra energy, maybe a different approach, that make different runs that the Phoenix defense don't pick up. You just hope that they can do something like they're just trying these little flicks. Something comes off, gets a goal, and maybe there's a glimmer of hope then for the Switchbacks, if they can just get that one goal.
No doubt a frustrating night for that man right there, Brendan Burke. He said this week it was finally good to have a normal week in terms of training. So mix in some rest on Wednesday, able to detail the opposition, but there's no doubt things have not gone according to plan for the Switchbacks tonight. And here's Jai. Can he make it 4? He can't. His shot curled wide. He's a little unhappy with himself.
Yeah, frustrated he didn't hit target, but still a good run into the box. Positive, dangerous. It's amazing how JJ Williams, his performance has just inspired everyone around him to have a go and be positive and confident. And Babukar Jai could keep that position on the left wing if he keeps that up, because that's exactly what the manager wants from him, that pace into the box. I just wonder though whether Santi Moa will last much longer in this match, or whether Greg Hurst might get a chance.
It's interesting looking to next week. Phoenix will take on Las Vegas. It took until their 20th match of the season, which was against Sacramento, to roll out the same lineup in 2 straight games. Louisville and Sacramento, the same lineup, and curious to see if Rick Schantz will change things. Donaciano will come back into the fold, but to put together a performance like this, assuming they can see it out, I don't know why you'd change much, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be in a hurry to change anything.
Mahoney, Wheeler holding play up. Echeverria, cross headed away into the path of Foster. Shot blocked down.
You can see those subs combining, Echeverria on one side, Foster on the other, bringing that extra energy, that desire, that belief, that hope. And that's what Colorado Springs need at this moment in time.
Another cross coming in. Wheeler. Sting, that header was taken out by the deflection off Musa.
He's just playing as a big target man up front. Played in defense against San Diego and got himself a red card. He'll be hoping to make amends by scoring a goal here today.
The best play on a new Ford is at Sanderson Ford, Arizona's largest Ford dealership.
Working hard, Phoenix Rising, to try and keep this result as it is. And that's what they need to do. Look at Babacar Jai there, just closing down so quickly. They need to keep that energy going, the home side, because you don't want to let a team as good as Switchbacks back into the game unnecessarily.
Mahoney trying to play that through for Wheeler. Nothing has come off tonight for this Colorado Springs side. Assuming they can't come back and take the full 3 points, the 1 win in 6. I mentioned coming off a month of July. This is their 7th match of the month as Jai lines one up, and it's saved again by Caldwell. Out for a corner kick.
Good effort from Babacar Jai. That one on target with pace, forcing another good save from Jeff Caldwell. And that's going to be a gain of concern to the Switchbacks. The goalkeeper making a lot of saves. Yes, we can criticize him for the Olympico, but he has made 2 or 3 really good saves in the second half. And that defensively is a concern, no doubt, for Brendan Burke.
Quinn, the in-swinger! Oh boy, Caldwell got caught in traffic again. This time it bounces out harmlessly for a goal kick.
That's not good goalkeeping at all, and he might claim there were bodies there, but that's what you expect in a match, and he's going to be doing lots of corner training for the next week, I would think. Jeff Caldwell.
A couple of subs here. Greg Hurst, Lamine Jane for Babacar Jai, Santi Moar. Seems like a couple of like-for-like subs.
Well done, Babacar Jai. Much better. Very impressed. I think he'll keep that position on the left-hand side. Santi Moar tried. He put an effort in, but he's not impacting the game. You can see manager applauding there, Rick Schantz for Babacar Jai. For Santi Moar, cuts a frustrated figure. Just cannot find the back of the net.
Hurst, who comes on. He does have 5 goals this year. And is tied for the team lead now with Aidan Quinn and Luis Sejas. Phoenix up to 22 shots in this game. The 12th game this year, they have reached that threshold of 20 shots. Coming together there in the middle of the box. Wheeler going at it. Looks like with Joey Farrell, the referee will step in.
You can see what Joey Farrell thinks of that, putting his elbow up. And Wheeler got himself in trouble, as I mentioned, got the red card at San Diego. It looks like his job is just to go up front and cause as much trouble as he can. And he's doing a good job of that, Aaron Wheeler.
Lisa Ryan will be coming on. Fourth sub of the night. That's the end of the night for Jairo Enriquez.
Entering the match is number 17, Esau Ryan.
Well, for Enriquez, all the excitement of the debut and the goal and the assist, this match has maybe brought him down to earth a little bit, giving him an idea that his team, as good as they are on the attack, need to somehow improve their defensive capabilities.
This seems like a typical Phoenix Rising. 22 shots, 10 of them on target. It's the first time this year that Phoenix has put up double-digit shots on target. They've had 3 instances in which they have gotten 9 on target. They've yet to reach that double-digit threshold as of yet. Those games both against San Antonio and the other against Loudoun. That's something about Phoenix this year, though. They played the top teams, at least in the West, very tight. Beaten San Antonio twice. They're going to take points, it looks like, off of Colorado Springs. And San Diego to score a late winner to beat Phoenix here early on in the season. Wheeler goes down. Free kick to Colorado Springs.
I don't think there was much contact there. Wheeler was looking for that, but it's a clever play to get the free kick in a reasonably dangerous position, and the big man no doubt will go into the box to try and, you know, he's certainly looking for the contact, but he's won it, and now he needs to get in the box and try and get on the end of the ball. He's big enough. He's already sort of had a couple of bumps and bruises with the Phoenix center back, so they know he's around.
Lindley to serve. A header coming on. It ends up being a diving save for Lunt.
I think he's just happy to get his hands on the ball and be part of the game. He's been a spectator for most of it.
Getting his jersey dirty. Baseball, they always talk about getting your jersey dirty, and Ben Luntz hasn't really had to so far tonight.
Like I said, the last 3 matches, the clean sheets, he certainly earned his pay packet, even if he has a quiet day today. I got no problem with that.
Here's Galena for Mahoney. Cutting it in. Mahoney on his left foot. Nothing to trouble Ben Lunt.
Just thinking, when Misha gives you the ball in that position, you have to be looking to give it back to him. He's the danger man, Misha, and he's got the pace. He gives you the ball. You just got to find an angle, try and play him in. Somehow just away from home just doesn't work the same way it does at home for Switchbacks, where they just have the decent service to their front 3, and the front 3 all into play and interact, and they're almost impossible to stop.
So Ryan coming forward, ran right into Farrell, trying to back out of that challenge and did just enough. Here's Lamine Jane. John A. gets by Mahoney to the end line, fires it across. Now Lambert. Aidan Quinn curling it in. There were two Phoenix Rising players there, and Williams and Hurst.
That's much better from Aidan Quinn. That's the quality service that I expect from him, because he's got such a wonderful left foot. He gave JJ Williams a really good ball to try and attack there. And we've just seen too many free kicks and passes that haven't been of the same standard. So good to see him back to his normal level of passing, Aidan Quinn. I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing all these players at Phoenix Rising just improving their game. Maybe there's a sense of comfort that JJ Williams has brought them, but he has raised everyone around him, JJ Williams. And they're all playing with a higher level and of greater intensity and greater confidence.
Sometimes it's not even the player putting something on the score sheet, although he did tonight. Sometimes it's just kind of that move by the front office saying, all right, we went out and got somebody to try to boost the group, and everybody can kind of follow that.
Yeah, but they've always had this number 9 Phoenix Rising that they know causes problems, and Rufat Dadashov was one, Adam Jean was another, that you knew that if you got the ball they would score goals, you knew that they would fight, they were big physical specimens, and somehow it's almost in their DNA. And I think seeing JJ Williams reminds them of the other 2 strikers they've had, and they think, okay, this is our comfort zone, this is how we want to play.
A whistle to stop play. Colorado Springs doesn't agree.
And if that's JJ Williams and he gets injured on his debut after the debut he's had, a lot of discussion going on there with Cam Lindley.
Cam Lindley's on a yellow card.
All the players around JJ Williams saying, come on, get up, you're fine, don't worry. Ooh, I tell you what, it is. I think that's why the players are speaking to Cam Lindley here. He's gone to ground and he's got his knee up, and that is potentially a dangerous tackle. I don't think he means to. And to be fair, JJ Williams is stretching, but when you're stretching and someone's got their knee and their shin there and they make contact, that can be a leg breaker. Anyway, to save the blushes and to avoid any further discussion with the referee, they've taken Cam Lindley off.
Brendan Burke has seen enough. Lindley hustles off. It's Carlton Belmar to come on for the final 12 minutes. Join Phoenix Rising next Saturday, August 6th at Wild Horse Pass as they celebrate Back to School Night, presented by APS. Visit phxrisingfc.com or call 623-594-9606 for more information. Las Vegas coming to town. The 3rd matchup of the year, first at home. Darnell King is crossed, parried into the middle. It's put over the bar. Sejas can't believe he didn't find the frame there.
Yeah, good save from the goalkeeper. Good strike, and forces Jeff Caldwell just to palm it into a dangerous area. You do expect Sejas to finish on that. Darnell King with the ball in, and Sejas with an open goal. Goalkeeper on the ground and just skies it over the crossbar. Thank heavens it wasn't a 0-0 game. Then he would have been embarrassed not to score that.
Matt Mahoney has his name taken as he takes out Lamine Jane. Richmond Antwi and Arturo Rodriguez preparing to come on.
A caution has been issued by the referee to Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, number 5, Matt Mahoney.
Johnny getting checked out here.
It was a poor tackle, maybe sort of tired legs. Could also be frustration from the Switchbacks that this match hasn't gone their way, and just a little bit fed up with the game. Never nice as a professional to be getting a bit of a hammering and be frustrated that your game just isn't coming together, not for the first time away from home. Now their 4th loss in a row, if this result remains.
Phoenix preparing a couple of subs. Looks like they'll take it after this set piece.
I'm just wondering if we'll see Arturo Rodriguez just for a few minutes just to get himself back into the run of things.
Aidan Quinn plays it in towards the penalty spot. A fall for Darnell King. Shot was blocked down. Galena couldn't quite get out. There is space though to work on the right. It's Greg Hurst. Hurst. Straightforward save for Caldwell. Lambert pass off the mark. There will be a stoppage here. 2 substitutions. Richmond Antwi and Arturo Rodriguez will come on. That is the end of the night for J.J. Williams, along with Luis Sejas. But for Williams, a Phoenix Rising debut to remember. He scored the game's 2nd goal. And what a start to his Phoenix Rising career.
Yeah, brilliant turn. Leaves the centre back for dead. Have a look at that. Turns him, hits it into the corner, away from the keeper. From next to nothing, he creates a goal. And that really was the killer. That was 2-0 and was very difficult for the Switchbacks to come back after that.
It's Antwi who comes on along with Arturo Rodriguez. That is a welcome sight for Phoenix Rising fans. He has not played since the last game that Phoenix Rising won. That was all the way back on May 28th against Hartford Athletic. He went down around the half-hour mark. Phoenix Rising did come back to win that game, but I've not seen him since. Great to get him back from a Phoenix Rising perspective.
I don't think he can take credit for this win, though, even though they haven't won without him since.
Just his presence on the bench, right?
One clean sheet in the last 10 for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. You need more than that if you're to be the best team in the West.
Here's Rodriguez. Antwi's in the middle. Rodriguez did all the hard work, but couldn't provide the cross. It's still a throw-in. Looks like the rain has returned. I've been calling Phoenix Rising games for now. This is my 3rd season. I don't think I've ever seen it rain at a home game.
Wow. I take it does rain in that part of the world.
Oh, it sure does. Not too often, though.
It doesn't seem to bother these fans. We saw some of the pictures early on. They had T-shirts over their head and caps and anything they could find just to keep the rain. It was quite heavy before the game. The fans were like, hey, we've traveled all this way to see our team. We're going to sit it out. And it didn't take long for Arturo to get a yellow.
Right into the book.
I know he's a bit of a fiery character, but that was all of 5 minutes and he's in the book. But he does bring this energy onto the pitch, and as you say, without him they've struggled to win, and I think he brings a precious energy for his back. J.J. Williams settles in. Maybe the happy days are coming back to Wild Horse Pass. We won't see Rick Schantz looking as stressed on the bench as we have seen for quite a few weeks. And as tough as it is for Switchbacks fans, they're still in a good position in the table. They're still almost certain to make the playoffs. And they have the talent up front to do well in those playoffs. So, yeah, it's a tough run and it's a frustrating run. But they're in a much better position, for example, than Phoenix Rising are, who are still outside of the playoffs. And they're in much better position than the champions Orange County, who, as of tonight, sit bottom of the West.
Right now, the point total they're chasing, Phoenix, is 32. And with these 3 points tonight, they'll be at 28. And the team that is holding that 7th spot is Las Vegas, who they play next week. So a true 6-pointer next weekend here at Wild Horse Pass. Playoff implications abound.
After that, they've got Orange County away, El Paso away, and RGV home, all winnable games. So maybe this is the stretch. Rick Schantz saying he wants 3 wins back-to-back to jump into a playoff position. Well, this looks like it's one of them, and I'm sure they can get 2 from the next 3 or 4 games.
After the Las Vegas game, though, just 2 of the next 6 games at home against RGV and against Oakland. Likes of Orange County, El Paso, Switchbacks, Monterey Bay, and San Diego, along with Sacramento during that stretch. So it will not be an easy run of games. To do it away from home.
Oh, to be fair to them, they drew away at Oakland Roots. That was difficult. They drew away at Lou City. That was really difficult. So I don't think they're afraid to go on the road, Phoenix Rising.
And you can bring this defense with you. That'll take you a long way.
Yeah, and JJ Williams fit, and Arturo Rodriguez back in the fold. And you got players like Leminjane and Richard Antwi to come off the bench. I think this is a very solid looking Phoenix Rising at last. I'm guessing that Brendan Burke wishes he had the same depth that Rick Schantz has, because his bench looks very light at the moment, the Switchbacks. Their first 11, absolutely fantastic, especially at home. But you do need to rotate, and you do need to bring impact players off the bench.
Aidan Quinn will be coming off, and he scored a tremendous goal from the corner flag.
Well, I was looking to see if JJ Williams was causing problems, but it wasn't. It just seems like Jeff Caldwell totally missed the flight of the ball. A happy Aidan Quinn, though. And he gets applause. Rick Schantz leading the applause there. And quite rightly so. Much better match, Aidan Quinn. Back to his normal standards.
It's Carlos Anguiano who's coming on. Also his first appearance since the Hartford Athletic game back in May. Sliding challenge, free kick. Echeverria going down. A great opportunity right at the top of the box.
Well, they might not get the 3-point Switchbacks, but to get a goal at this stage would at least give them some positivity from an otherwise poor day at the office.
It's Galena and Foster standing around this. Carlton Belmar lurking. Galena strides up, right off the wall. Foster again blocked down. So Ryan. Cross comes in, top of the area, and it's skied into the south end. It's 4 minutes of stoppage time added on.
Good chance for Mishi there to at least hit target and work Ben Lund. Nicely pulled back by Issa Ryan. It just isn't their day, and you can see it in their body language. The fans at the back are still loving it, bouncing up and down as they do at Wild Horse Pass. It's a real party there. Great atmosphere.
Sliding challenge put in. Free kick to Phoenix right at midfield.
Another free kick against Aaron Wheeler. He certainly has made his presence felt, the 34-year-old, bumping into everyone and pushing and shoving, but give him credit. At least he's trying to do something to change the way the match is going.
It's turned over, and it's Antwi. Now Lambert.
Good work here from Phoenix Rising. They could just take their foot off the pedal. I mean, it's good habits to get into. You work and you close down right until that final whistle. Great chasing back. That'll make Rick Shantz happy. And what it does is it also just tells everyone around you that we're all in this together. We're all going to fight to the end. We're not going to let our heads drop. We're not going to take anything for granted. And that's a good atmosphere to have. It's going to be a very happy locker room, I would think, Phoenix Rising, when this whistle blows.
Goes all the way through for Johnny, and his shot is out of play. Assuming the scoreline stays as it is, Phoenix will be, since 2017, 6-0-1 against Colorado Springs with an 18-5 goal difference. They've had Colorado Springs' number over the last few years.
I think they've had most people's number over the last few years, given how this team have played.
These two teams have not played since 2019. That game was in Colorado Springs. Antwi, that's the exclamation mark. It's a late goal for Phoenix Rising. It's 4 on the night, and the winless run will end right here.
Good finish by Richie Antwi. Had to stretch with that with his left foot, but a fantastic ball out wide. Rick Shantz is delighted. Happy days back for him again, but good cross coming in from that width. That's exactly what they've been looking for. Service into the number 9. That's what Rick Shantz wanted. Good service. The ball comes out wide. It gets whipped in. Fantastic ball. Good stretch from Richie Antwi. And he hits the back of the net. And if they keep doing this, Phoenix Rising, they will go up and up that table.
Richmond Antwi, another late goal. It's a 3rd goal for Richmond Antwi. And this shutout streak will go to 365 minutes. There is the final whistle. The winless streak is over. Phoenix Rising win for the first time since May, and they do it in dominant fashion. 4-0 over Colorado Springs.
Top class. The two coaches have a handshake there and a quick word, but what a fantastic performance. It's the Phoenix Rising of old. You can see the smiles and the hugs. It's been a desperate last couple of months, and there's the man who's made it all happen for me, JJ Williams.
Man of the match presented by Phoenix Children's Hospital. He scores on his debut. He impacted this game in so many different ways. And Phoenix Rising grab all 3 points. We'll come back and wrap things up tonight from Wild Horse Pass. It finishes Phoenix 4, Colorado Springs 0.
Lerner & Rowe is proud to be the official personal injury attorneys of Phoenix Rising. Our goal is getting you all the money you deserve. When you're in a wreck and need a check, make one call, that's all, to Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
That's the man of the hour for Phoenix Rising. J.J. Williams, a goal in his debut, not to take away from the goal, and an assist from Aidan Quinn. But he made an impact as we'll look back at these 90 minutes with our full-time highlights. And we'll start things off early on, 19th minute. And the scoring gets started on an Olympico.
Yeah, Jeff Caldwell absolutely lost in the middle of the goal. Don't know what he was doing. He wasn't even under pressure from anyone in front of him and lost sight of the ball. Aidan Quinn with the Olympico. This a fantastic turn. This made the match for me. From the moment that went in, I thought there's no way Phoenix could lose this, because J.J. Williams, great turn on the edge of the box, fires it into the corner. They were buzzing at this stage, Phoenix Rising.
2-0 inside of 25 minutes on the other side of halftime. Quinn to Farrell for 3.
Brilliant free kick with pace, and brave from Joey Farrell. Gets his head in front of the goalkeeper, risks getting punched in the back of the head, and just guides it past Jeff Caldwell in goals. Fantastic free kick, great finish.
And 90+ for Richmond Antwi. One more for good measure.
Greg Hurst, beautiful ball in, quality assist there. And then Antwi just stretching his left foot out and tucking that into the back of the net. Good finish from Richie Antwi. Great supply from Greg Hurst.
And something to celebrate here for Phoenix Rising, and all those shots on target, and it turns into 4 goals. Well-deserved win.
Yeah, look at the difference. 12-3 shots on target. Absolutely massive difference. I mean, Switchbacks have plenty of the ball. Look at the possession, but it's what you do with the possession. Expected goals, 2.64 for Phoenix Rising, just 0.62 for Colorado Springs. Big difference on the day. Phoenix Rising by far the better side. Switchbacks, a lot of work to do, especially on the road. They're not looking good for a team that at times has been fantastic this season. So they will come good though. With that front three, they have to come good.
So that will do it for our coverage tonight from Wild Horse Pass. Phoenix Rising finally back on the winning track. Their first win in 9 games. And they do it in dramatic fashion as well. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Gary Bailey, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long. It finishes Phoenix Rising 4, Colorado Springs Switchbacks 0. Good night from Wild Horse Pass.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.